Hi everybody, this is AJ with Car Inspected, and today we are in Hagersville, Ontario, looking at this 1956 C600 cab over. Full restoration project, but it's in pretty nice shape for what it is. It's a whole lot of truck. It's equipped with a 292Y block, original to the truck. All the paint appears to be original on the truck. Don't see any spots. There's a couple of repairs here and there. Through its life, it was a work truck, but it's in pretty decent shape overall. The chassis is in pretty good shape. No real rust, no big issues chassis-wise. Did a little bit of twist in the back here. Something was hit or wrenched over it. Other than that, the other cross members all seem to be in good shape. Everything does seem to be intact as well. That huge rear, it's not wet, not leaky. Dually wheels are both there and present. Tires are shot. Restoration project, they all need to be replaced. But they are there and they do hold air. And your rims are pretty decent shape. I don't see any major damage or anything like that. I'm sure if they're sandblasted, cleaned up, painted, it would come out really nice. Your brakes, everything is in place. Appears to be complete. Original brake lines are there. Obviously they need to be replaced. But again, this will be a full restoration project. Your rear brakes again. Everything seems to be in place. Don't see anything missing, nothing broken. The original Ford taillight is actually still in the back, which is really cool. And the other side here is the license plate bracket, which is pretty much all in place. It's the driver's side rear wheels. Again, they're in poor shape. I did take a reading of them just because. There's about 730 seconds of tread, but they are very old. Very dry rotten, as you can see, but they do hold air. And again, here's this rim in nice shape. No real rust issues. Only surface rust, really. And you can see the back rim kind of is in pretty good shape as well. And here's brake lines on this side, and all your wire harnesses run to the back here. Everything's complete. Drive shaft is there. Doesn't look, small dent on the drive shaft, but nothing too major. Obviously the exhaust will need to be repaired. Looks like the PTO is in place. We get to the cab. There is some rust in the cab. The rear cab corners, as you can see, does need to be replaced. Along this lower seal, the rear lip, there's a little rust. So that can be fixed. A close up for you. But the rest of the back of the cab is pretty straight. Nice little dent up here by the rear window. Over here, there we go. But the window is okay. Original seals are there. There's also original Ford glass all around. I don't believe any glass has ever been replaced in this truck, which is pretty cool. Pretty surprising for a work truck. These steps on the driver's side are in nice shape. Even some of the original rubbers there. A little bit of rust on this bottom step, as you can see. But overall, it's in pretty decent shape. This fender has a couple of holes here, probably where a mud guard was. But this fender is really nice, really straight. See, the cowl area, a little bit of paint here, but I don't believe there's any plastic or anything underneath, nothing showed up. Nice and solid though. This door, as you can see the bottom, there's a little rust repair in the door here. We can, as we open it up, we'll see. That the bottom of the door does need a good bit of repair. The rest of the door is in good shape though. The door panel's pretty straight. Sorry for the darkness, the sun is right in my face here. Here we're looking at the floors of the cab, and we see that there is some rust here coming into the wheel well area and under here. Typical where your foot goes kind of rust. The seat is in place, needs complete restoration, but it is there along with the springs, and that does appear to be the original frame, everything like that. Nothing's ever been upgraded, anything. Steering wheel is there, again the original steering wheel. The Bakelite is cracking in many spots, so that will need to be restored or replaced. But everything is there. There is a key with it. Original Ford keys as well, as you can see. Light switch seems to work. There is no battery in the vehicle, so don't know if any of the electronics or lighting works. But very simple electronics in a truck such as this. Here's a VIN verification, by the way, while we're here. And I will check to see that it matches the ownership. Pedals are in decent shape. I mean, the gas pedal's a little busted up, but again, that's to be expected. The rubber dries out after 60 years. The gauge cluster has seen better days. I'd say these gauges need to be all rebuilt. The glass is broken, as you can see on all of them. Speedometer needs a restoration. So the cluster needs a full restoration. But here you are, the knobs, they're all there and in place, which is good. Sure. The rest of this is in pretty nice shape. Feels like the clutch is engaging, which is good. Shifter moves okay. So transmission is fine, not seized up, anything like that. There is no brake pedal to it, so no fluid in it. I'm sure the lines are gone a long time ago. But everything is in place. There is the original master cylinder. The windshield is cracked in the driver's side. So it's also starting to turn. You can see it around the edges there. But I don't see any real rust in these seams, which is very typical of these trucks. Rust sits in the top here, and it doesn't seem to be any there. Along with the drip rails, which is again very typical of these trucks. It's in pretty nice shape here. Roof has some dents all throughout, but should be able to knock it all out. There's the front drip rail seam, again, good shape. I'll go around to the other side so you can see that side, but the whole drip rail and roof, everything is in nice shape. It's dented here by the running light, as you can see, pushed in a little bit. But the light is pretty intact, which is surprising. Doré lights, nice. We'll move over to the, over here. The original dome light is there and in place. The fuel tank, the original fuel tank behind the seat is there. As you can see, looks to be in decent shape. From what I can tell, doesn't look to be too rotted or anything. Probably just take it out, clean it up, it'll be okay. Again, the rubbers are on the back window. Obviously are dry, rotten, and will need to be replaced, but I don't see any signs of big rust issues. A little surface rust on the top of the roof, the inside of the roof there, as you can see. We'll go around to the other side. And here we are at the cab corner on the passenger side. That's the right side. This one does have a little rust, not as much as the other side, but kind of just still starting to come through on this side. The steps do have a little bit of rot on this side. Nothing too big though. They are in pretty decent shape. This would be a pretty nice project in my opinion. A little bit of work, but real solid truck to work with. Bottom of the front door again has some pinholes, some things starting. And you can see that on the inside it's also a little, not as bad as the driver's door though. Up through here is pretty nice. There's a little bit of rot starting again in this footwell area. Just starting to separate. Small hole here. The rest of the floor is in pretty nice shape. The heating unit seems to be pretty complete. Don't see any noticeable missing parts. Even the ductwork is still kind of there, which it will need to be replaced, but it's pretty nice that it's there. And again, this side of the seat, pretty tore up, but it is pretty old. See no rot. Surface stuff, but nothing major. No real issues up here. The glove box door opens. The cardboard insert is gone, as is with 99.9% of old vehicles. Here's all your heat controls, which are again all there. And the 5-speed transmission with the optional PTO. Here's the battery holder area. In pretty good shape. I don't see it rusted or anything like that. Again, that's a very typical thing. There's a small little bit right there, but usually these battery trays are gone. Your mat shifter boot obviously is toasted. This door panel is in pretty good shape, as you can see. There's a bit of a split in the door here. Need to be repaired. And these windows again, original Ford glass, but they are cracked, as you can see. So they will need to be replaced. The fact that they're original Ford glass though shows that the truck hasn't really been molested too much. And here's this side of the drip rails. Again, it's in pretty nice shape. I don't see any pinholes, any issues, anything like that. The lock door is missing on the other side. The whole lock is missing on the side, actually, just so you know. Mirrors are in good shape though. Everything seems to be in order. Oh, that one's turning a little bit, but that's what it is. Here's the front wheels. By the way, they are in pretty good shape, just like the back. I don't see any real damage. A little bit of a dent right there. But other than that, they're in pretty good shape. Tires are just as old as the rear and definitely need replacing. And the drum brakes, as far as I can tell, they seem to be in all complete. Nothing looks taken apart. In the wheel wells, there is very little rot. Everything is pretty nice. Same with underneath the truck. Give you a quick look at underneath the truck. All the cab mounts, everything like that seem to be really nice. Really good shape. Obviously, greasy transmission, things like that, but in pretty nice shape under there. Here's an idea of the cab mount area. And the springs are all in place. There's no rot. The frame's really nice and straight and rot free. Again, here are the brakes, which seem to be all complete. Give a quick look under the hood. Which, by the way, the hood is in very nice shape as well. No real big dents or anything like that. The front grille, the chrome grille, is nice and straight, which is awesome because usually they are dented up. A couple of dents here and there. You can see the little dent here. The bumper's a little dented. Must have been pulling something pretty big with that. And this fender was crunched up at one point in its life. As you can see, it's been hammered out to be pretty close to the right shape. But good metal guy can straighten that right up. It's not too damaged. Here we go under the hood to the original 292 Y block. Appears to be pretty original. Probably never even out of the truck. Original generator. Obviously belts, hoses, things like that would all need to be replaced. But everything does seem to be there and unmolested. The owner said he got it started for about 2 minutes, but it doesn't run too well. Probably needs a rebuild. By the original air cleaner, everything is in place, which is really cool. Things like that are usually missing by this time. I don't see any signs of major issues. Nothing out of the ordinary for leakage. Heads, all that seems to be fine. Again, I mean, it's an old motor, but I don't see any signs of cracking, any real issues, as much as I can see. The rad looks to be pretty decent shape. You can see in there. It does not have any coolant in it, but it seems all right. The top is nice. I don't see any visible real damage to it. Probably be cleaned out and taken, and it'll probably be a nice rad. Firewall, nice shape. All original wiring is in place. Things like that. No real issues. Inside of the hood is nice. No rust showing anywhere. No real rust, no issues. And sometimes these hat channels get filled with stuff and they are just rotten out, but this truck is really nice for what it is. And again, relatively speaking, it's pretty dry under here. The truck probably hasn't been on the road in a long time, but still, it's pretty dry. There's the driver's side view of the brake backing plates, etc. Looks to be all in good condition and where it should be. This marker light here is broken. Looks like a couple BBs. Somebody's shooting a BB gun at it. This one's cracked a little, but not too bad. Headlights are there in good shape. A little dent here. Up here is dented as well. It was dented in. Somebody hammered it back out at some point. stretched a little, but again, you can, good metal guy fix that. Here's the driver's side front wheel. Pretty good shape. No real issues. Again, tires definitely replacing, but this is not just a typical used car, so that's expected. Here's the wheel wells. A little bit starting to come through. That's where you could see in the cab before, so you can see a little bit coming through there. But in general, most of it's pretty nice. Again, here's some cab mount shots. Pretty decent. Pretty decent overall project. Steering box, a little greasy. Typical, very typical. Here's the driver's side. Cab mounts, things like that. Again, really nice and solid. That's the floor from the bottom that you see. So, there you have it. 56 C600 COE. Make a really cool hauler one day. One quick last look around. And there you have it. Again, this is AJ with Car Inspected, and we'll see you next time.